If you're a senior shopper looking to make your budget go further, safeguard your well-being, and steer clear of grocery store hassles, this is the crucial warning you didn't realize you needed. Even though the shelves seem well stocked, the carts appear full, and the friendly cashiers offer a warm smile. Some stores are taking advantage of seniors and slipping by unnoticed. From misleading price tags to frozen goods passed off as fresh, not every grocery store is worthy of your trust. And if you're over 60 and still shopping at these spots, you might be paying a steeper price in regret than what's on your receipt. Let us start with a store that looks like it should be saving you money, but often does the exact opposite. Whole Foods? Yes, the one with the sleek interior, the organic labels, and the avocado displays that look like modern art. But just because it smells like eucalyptus and costs like a boutique does not mean it is safe, especially for older shoppers. In fact, Whole Foods may be one of the most misleading grocery experiences out there. Let us start with pricing. Whole Foods has never been known for being affordable, but the problem goes beyond high prices. It is about value. Seniors who think they are paying more for better quality are often getting the same mass-distributed produce and packaged food sold elsewhere, just with fancier fonts. Several items like pre-washed lettuce, cut fruit, or deli snacks have been found to come from the same suppliers as regular stores. The difference? A markup of 20 to 40%. That means a small fruit cup that would cost $3 somewhere else is suddenly $6, and that adds up fast if you were shopping on a pension. Next is freshness. Whole Foods loves to market everything as fresh and local, but multiple former employees have revealed that many of the items marked local are only regionally sourced through third-party distributors, not directly from farms. In some cases, local has meant hundreds of miles away. And that beautiful fish display, it has been called out by watchdog groups for mislabeling, with frozen seafood sometimes being passed off as fresh. Seniors hoping to buy clean, high-quality proteins could be getting defrosted fillets that sat in transit for days. The hot food bar, once considered a staple, has its own issues. Older customers are drawn to the idea of a quick, ready-to-eat meal without the work of cooking. But here is what many do not know. Those hot bar trays are often recycled. Leftovers at the end of one night can be reheated and reseasoned the next day. Food temperature logs have reportedly gone unchecked, and the cost, by weight, a full hot bar meal at Whole Foods can rival a sleigh-down dinner. For a store that positions itself as premium, serving lukewarm lentils and overcooked tofu should not come with a $15 price tag. Even the layout is a hurdle. Whole Food stores are designed for aesthetics, not efficiency. Long winding aisles, scattered categories, and minimal seating make it hard for seniors to navigate comfortably. There are not enough benches or rest areas, and the carts are often smaller and harder to maneuver than traditional stores. It may look beautiful, but it is not built for people who need a little more time and a little less chaos. Next on the list is Save-A-Lot. The name promises savings, but what it often delivers as chaos in a discount costume. Save-A-Lot thrives in underserved areas and often markets itself to seniors looking for budget options. But once you are inside, the dream starts to crack. Their produce section looks like it gave up on life halfway through the week. Bananas so bruised, they are practically pudding. Tomatoes that feel like stress balls, and shrink-wrapped mystery meats that come with more questions than answers. Former employees have shared that many Save-A-Lot stores receive expired inventory from third-party suppliers, stuff that other chains rejected. It is repackaged, relabeled, and resold. One cashier admitted they were instructed to place newer stickers over older expiration dates. The logic? If it smells okay, it is okay. That is not a policy. That is a biohazard with a price tag. And if you think their low prices are worth the risk, remember this: medical bills from food poisoning are never on sale. Even the store layout feels like a maze designed by someone who hates seniors. Narrow aisles, low lighting, and shelves so high you need a stepladder just to reach the cereal, and do not expect help. Staff are often too few and too overwhelmed to assist. Need help finding something? Better ask the broken freezer door. It is the only thing that stays in place. And now we arrive at Dollar General. Sounds like a deal, right? But walk down their freezer aisle and take a closer look. Expired meat, moldy bread, rotten produce that somehow made it past quality control. Dollar General has made headlines more times than most grocery chains care to admit. One location was fined for selling items past their expiration date, not by a day or two, but sometimes by months. One customer bought canned green beans for her soup, only to find rust at the top of the can and a thick brown liquid inside that looked like it came from the back of a junkyard. The bigger issue is the lack of refrigeration standards. In multiple inspections across several states, Dollar General stores were found to have coolers running well above safe temperatures. And for seniors with weaker immune systems, that is not just a storage issue, it is a serious health risk. What is worse is that many of their discounts are designed to trick you. Items marked as $1 are often smaller in size or lower in quality than their competitors. You think you are getting a deal, but you are really buying more packaging and less product. And do not get us started on staffing. The average Dollar General employee is stretched thinner than the deli ham they sell. One person running the register, stocking shelves, and managing customer complaints. That means cleanliness takes a back seat and customer service might as well not exist. You are not walking into a store. You are walking into a guessing game where the price may be low, but the standards are even lower. And yet, the problems keep getting swept under the rug or behind the shelves in this case. By now, you are probably wondering, how do these places stay open? Simple. They prey on routine, on convenience, on the fact that most people, especially seniors, stick with the same store because it is nearby, familiar, and easy. But that familiarity can be costly when corners are being cut behind the scenes. If you have ever walked into a store and thought, something feels off, trust that instinct. Because when it comes to your food, your health, and your wallet, there is no such thing as too careful. And if this video is saving you from expired soup and mystery meat, do us a favor. Hit like, tap subscribe, and share it with someone who still thinks dollar means deal. Let us keep going because the next two grocery stores might be even worse. And you will want to hear what they are serving up behind the smiling logos. If Whole Foods, Dollar General, and Save-A-Lot were the warm-up act, then these next two grocery stores are the full headline performance of frustration. Because for seniors, every trip to the store should be simple, safe, and worth the money. But instead, some chains are rolling out what can only be described as a scavenger hunt of expired deals, broken promises, and a shopping experience so backwards you would think they are trying to chase customers away on purpose. Enter Albertsons, a name that sounds classy, solid, and trustworthy, but behind those wide aisles and polite intercom announcements, the truth is sitting quietly on the shelves. Sometimes, weeks past its prime, Albertsons has a long-standing reputation for charging premium prices without delivering premium anything, especially for older shoppers who depend on routine and expect quality. The produce section is one of the biggest offenders. It may look fresh at a glance, but if you inspect closely, you will notice wilted greens, limp celery, and avocados that go from granite to guacamole in less than an hour. Former employees have shared that managers are under pressure to keep the shelves looking full, even if that means leaving borderline spoiled fruit out, because it still looks okay from the top. And if you think you can escape the produce pitfalls by sticking to packaged foods, think again. Albertsons has been accused by customers of playing sticker games with their sale prices. That box of crackers marked 2 for $5. Check the fine print. You usually have to buy both to get the deal. Otherwise, they charge you full price for one. And unlike stores that offer easy-to-read digital price tags, Albertsons often uses small, cluttered labels with confusing fine print. Something that can be especially frustrating for seniors with visual impairments. That is not a discount, that is an obstacle course. Let us talk about accessibility. For seniors, things like automatic doors that actually work, carts that roll properly, and clear aisle signage are not just nice, they are necessary. And yet, several Albertsons stores across the country have been called out for neglecting basic accessibility features. Broken scooters, no benches to rest, bathrooms that are technically public but locked or out of service. And when customers complain, they're often met with a shrug and a phone number to call corporate, which is a great way to lose loyal shoppers. One by one, especially when those shoppers are already juggling medications, appointments, and shrinking budgets. And then we have customer service. If you are lucky enough to find an employee who is not stocking 10 things at once or rushing to check someone out, they might answer your question, but multiple seniors have reported being brushed off when asking for help reaching items on high shelves or locating products that have been randomly relocated with no explanation. One woman described trying to find canned soup for 20 minutes before discovering it had been moved across the store for a seasonal reset. Because nothing says fall like making grandma play hide and seek with the chicken noodle. Now we head into the land of yellow signs and blue letters. Kroger. On paper, Kroger looks like it has everything. Big store footprint, loyal customer base, occasional deals. But under the surface, this chain has been quietly building a reputation for being one of the most frustrating stores for senior shoppers in particular. It all starts with layout changes. Kroger has a habit of constantly rearranging their store floor plans, especially when launching new seasonal promotions. For most shoppers, this is annoying. For seniors, it is disorienting. One day, the eggs are by the milk, the next, they are near the pet food, and the signage rarely updates in time. It is less of a grocery store and more of a rotating escape room with fluorescent lighting. And speaking of lighting, Kroger has a habit of using harsh, overly bright fluorescent bulbs in certain sections, while others feel dim and underlit. This inconsistency makes it harder for older customers to navigate, especially those with vision issues. Add to that narrow aisles packed with seasonal junk bins, and you have a recipe for tripping hazards and confusion. Then there is the self-checkout obsession. Kroger has doubled down on replacing staffed checkout lanes with machines that do not always work, and they expect seniors to just figure it out. The touchscreen response time is slow. The coupon scanning is clunky, and if you make one mistake, you have to wait for the one overwhelmed employee overseeing 6 machines to come unlock it. Some stores have even reduced the number of live cashiers during slower hours, assuming that everyone can use self-checkout. For older customers who are not comfortable with technology or simply want a little human interaction, this is more than inconvenient. It is insulting. Do not get too excited about digital coupons either. Kroger's app is notoriously glitchy and hard to navigate, and while younger shoppers may be used to managing shopping lists on a smartphone, many seniors are not. Several reviews mention the frustration of seeing a sale advertised only to find out at the register that it required a digital clip. That means unless you are tech-savvy and phone-ready at all times, you are going to miss deals and possibly end up paying more than expected. There is nothing like getting charged full price for something marked down because you did not scan the digital barcode buried 4 menus deep in the app. Even the pharmacy, which should be a reliable stronghold for senior shoppers, has become a sore spot. Long wait times, overworked pharmacists, and prescription mix-ups have led to a growing number of complaints. For seniors who rely on consistent, accurate medication, especially those juggling multiple prescriptions, this is a risk they simply cannot afford to take. Finally, we cannot help but mention this name Safeway. The name itself makes you feel like you are in good hands. Safe is right there in the title S. But what actually happens inside many Safeway locations is anything but reassuring. One of the biggest complaints from senior shoppers is inconsistency. Some days you find everything you need. The next, the shelves look like a clearance aisle after a storm. Milk that is days from expiration. Bread that is already hard around the edges. Rotary chickens that somehow feel cold in the middle but dry on the outside. It is like a guessing game with your groceries. And seniors, many of whom shop on fixed incomes, do not have time or money for roulette. Now, let us talk about prices. Safeway loves to market their club card deals as a way to save money. But these savings are often built on inflated original prices that make the discount look more impressive than it actually is. Without the card, you are basically being punished at the register. And for older shoppers who do not want to download apps or link their phone numbers, this setup is frustrating. Some seniors have reported being charged $5 or $6 more for items simply because they did not tap to clip a digital coupon. That is not savings. That is bait and switch disguised as a loyalty program. Behind the scenes, things do not get much better. Several former Safeway employees have spoken out about staffing shortages that leave departments uncleaned, food improperly rotated, and customer questions unanswered. During busy times, seniors needing assistance, whether reaching something on a top shelf or asking about a product, can be ignored simply because there is no one around to help. And if they do find someone, they are often rushed through or pointed vaguely in a direction instead of guided. One of the most concerning reports, the deli counter. Safeway's delis are known for pre-sliced meats and cheeses, hot meals, and sandwich stations. But insiders have said that those deli cases are not always cleaned properly at the end of each night. Some meats sit overnight in metal trays only to be refreshed the next morning with a new top layer. If you have ever had deli ham that tasted oddly rubbery or turkey that went bad quicker than it should have, you might know what we are talking about. It is not just unappetizing, it can be dangerous, especially for seniors with weakened immune systems or dietary sensitivities. Even the pharmacy, a place where Safeway should shine, has come under fire. Prescription delays, incorrect refills, and understaffed counters are becoming more common. One senior described standing in line for 20 minutes only to be told their prescription had been lost in the system. In a world where medication is a lifeline, sorry, we do not know what happened is not an acceptable answer. So where does that leave us? 6 grocery stores, 6 different ways seniors are being underserved, overcharged, and overlooked. From the pricing traps at Dollar General to the organic illusion at Whole Foods, it is clear that not every grocery store has your best interest in mind, and for older shoppers who rely on these trips to stay independent and nourished, the consequences are more than just annoying. They can be dangerous. But here is the good news. Awareness is power. Knowing which stores cut corners, where the traps are hidden, and how the marketing does not always match the experience. That is the first step. Seniors deserve better than slick branding and second-rate service. They deserve clean stores, fair prices, and food they can actually trust. And once more, people start demanding that the grocery industry will have no choice but to clean up its act. Until then, shop smart, question the slogans, and remember, not every deal is really a deal. Sometimes it is just a warning in disguise. If this video helped you or someone you care about, hit like, subscribe to the hidden menu, and share it with someone who still thinks club a price means savings. Because in today's grocery game, the truth is the only thing not marked up. And remember, the truth isn't always served up with your order.